Have you ever thought about how advanced the Buddhist teachings were for their time? Even in our current times, his understanding and his teachings hold up and serve well. In my own life, I have seen many professions from health to mental support utilize and support the Buddhist teachings. Was the Buddha basically teaching about mental health and the states of mind? Although Buddhism is primarily known as a spiritual tradition, it is also a lifestyle that encompasses the mind in almost all forms of practice. Buddhism is known as the science of the mind. The practice of Buddhism puts the individual in the role of scientist, running experiments on their own mind to see what works for them. The idea is that through this process, a person can achieve inner peace. And in accord to Buddhist doctrines, happiness comes from inner peace. Finding inner peace. The main form of mental training is meditation. Studies show that meditating has many mental health benefits, such as reducing stress, anxiety, and depression. It accomplishes this over time through teaching people to experience unproductive thoughts from a different perspective. Rather than letting a thought nag at someone's state of mind, meditation teaches them to recognize that it is a thought with no benefit and then release it. Meditation is accomplished in many ways: deep breathing, yoga, chanting, and the goal is to understand and control the mind in order to achieve enlightenment or nirvana. It is the highest state someone can achieve in Buddhism. Making connections. Basic Buddhist teachings are about practicing kindness, humor, and compassion towards other people. One of the Buddha's primary principles is that there should be no agenda other than to help themselves and others. In Buddhism, all people are equal. Buddhism gives a person a feeling like being a wave in the ocean rather than feel like one's life is an isolated phenomenon. A wave is a wave, but not separate from the rest of the ocean. Buddhism gives its practitioners a profound feeling of connectedness without a loss of identity, and never in terms of superiority or inferiority to others. Being in charge of our actions. Karma is an often misunderstood Buddhist ideal. While most people see it as what goes around comes around, karma in Buddhism actually encompasses the idea that a person has the ability to change any circumstances they face in life. It is meant to be a doctrine of responsibility and empowerment. For a Buddhist, hope is a decision. Life should not be governed by fear and anger. We may not recognize or be aware of the simple truth that many of our thought patterns and energies are derived from and are governed by fear and anger. As a collective energy, fear and anger can be very destructive. We make the wrong decisions if we base it on fear, anger, and wrong perception. Those emotions cloud our mind. So the first thing in the practice that we learn from the Buddhist tradition is to come back and take care of our emotions. We use mindfulness to recognize these energies and contemplation to extinguish the anger. People are so convinced that anger and all this energy will produce change, but in fact, it's very destructive because you're opposing. Opposition wastes energy. It's not healing. Emotions can be good, passion can be good, and compassion is very good. But compassion doesn't waste energy. It includes and it understands. It is a more clear energy. Yes, there are things wrong in the world, and yes, we can each improve upon these things, but never with anger towards them. Engage in protest, but not from a place of anger. You need to express your opinion, and you need to go out there and say, this is wrong. But don't do it by saying hateful things. In a way, we Buddhists look more at energy than personality, and that helps us become wiser. So build your practice. Find your refuge in this world. and find a cause where your heart doesn't feel inactive and in despair. This is the medicine. We go out and we help. Don't allow hate and anger to take over your world, because there are other things happening. Right now, people are realizing we are more tied together than we may have ever realized, and our family and our world needs us. Our friends may be somebody who is being discriminated against. A family member may be struggling with addictions or depression. You can only be there to offer them that kindness if you are stable yourself. You cannot help them if you are filled with hate, fear, doubt, or despair. What people need is your non-fear, your stability, your solidity, and your clarity. This is what we Buddhists can offer, and this is why the world needs us and the teachings that we are shared by man so long ago. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. The Buddha. Peace and love, Jim.